All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time we're going to step in the ring with the greatest tag team in podcast history, Just Freaking Wrestling, the JFW podcast, hosted by Travesty.
I'm Dizzle J.
And like we mentioned last week, this episode we are dedicating to, I guess, the ECW rumors.
ECW rumors. I mean, we love rumors because, well, I mean, I grew up with a bunch of women, so I always had different, the Star magazines and TMZ that I'm hooked on, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, gossip is what makes the world move, right?
It's
I mean,
so much fun.
Yeah. So, like, when I was looking into, well, real quick before we get into that, how have you been?
I've been great. I went on a trip to Minnesota this week.
How was it?
It was cold. But
Did it snow
beautiful.
up there? Did it snow?
It snowed a little bit, and then when we drove by this one, I guess, mountain, they were actually making their own snow. There was these giant machines shooting snow out, and we're just, we're amazed.
Who does that? Who does that, right?
I guess if you own a ski lodge, you do that.
That's cool. I'm glad you're able to go out there and kind of, I mean, you're doing something more to advance in your job, which is awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's pretty
How
cool.
about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. I had the party last week that you were here at.
That
so,
party was definitely fun.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was that and everything. Other than that, just, podcasting and work and stuff, doing what I do.
Until What's-His-Face kept trying to give me a shot of my Lord.
Yeah. The Geekcast Joe.
Is that who that is?
I think deep down, like, what he was trying to do is sabotage you for JFW because he's trying to make this freaking show the centralized place for travesty. That's probably what it was.
Oh, well, I mean, there's enough travesty to go around.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, like, he's just a big Malort fan.
That shit is, ugh.
It's the devil. It surely is the devil.
I've never had a shot, like, taste for the next 6 hours in my mouth.
Yeah. But no, I'm glad you were on the show. I'm doing good and everything. Glad you're able to make it out to the party.
Oh, the party was fun, man.
Yeah. I didn't know if you noticed or not, but I did a little redecorating here in the freaking studios. If you noticed the shelf that I'm creating back there.
Oh.
Of all wrestling stuff.
So, nice. This is the first time I've seen the Undertaker thing.
Yeah. Well, like, a lot of that was in my bedroom on, like, this coffee table. I just, like, a lot of things, kind of knickknacks I've thrown around. And I was like, you know what? I need to clear some stuff up. I fixed the shelf that was in my closet that broke. So I threw some stuff back up there after I fixed that. And I was like, I want to get rid of this coffee table.
Right.
So I got rid of that, and I started figuring, okay, what am I going to put where and all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to take this little shelving unit, put it into the office, and then start putting my wrestling stuff on there. So I'm going to start collecting some wrestling stuff, throwing it on there. And that Undertaker model, actually, I got back into the late 90s.
I mean, it does look the older version of
That's
Undertaker.
Right. That's like that's pre-Ministry Undertaker. So.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the mustache. He just has the bottom part.
Yep. So I mean, that's awesome. So growing into the JFW side of the office as we grow.
What's crazy is Liz went to clean the boys' room, and that's where I keep a lot of my collectibles, and end up finding a lot of my WCW, WWE, and Super WWE action figures that I've had. Really? Yeah, where I have Rey Mysterio unmasked as an action figure.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's not the greatest looking guy.
That's not a pleasant face.
No. I'm thinking maybe one of these shows we go to, I might bring him out and see if we can sell them to further the JFW cause.
I got a lot of those figures too I'd love to get rid of. I mean, I got a box of them, like the old, and they're like the older ones too. Shit, last time I bought an action figure was probably like 2005 maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to say like August. It was the last time I bought an action figure for myself.
Now, when you buy those figures, so you bought it this past August you're talking about.
Yeah, but I didn't buy wrestling. I bought Iron Man.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking about wrestling figures, just figures itself.
Oh, man, I haven't bought a wrestling figure in years.
Okay, because I was going to ask, if you bought the figure in August, like even Iron Man, so did you remove it from the box, or is it a collectible? No. So those are collectibles.
The Iron Man I got is actually about 24 inches big.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there, and it's fully movable and all that jazz, and I'd only got one, so...
It'd be nice if that figure you're able to take the suit off and you had a Tony Stark underneath it.
Actually, it's got a removable head, so you can switch the head from Tony Stark to Iron Man.
And so the suit?
And you still have the suit, but those figures, they made a lot of those figures back in the 90s.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice. So ECW. So the rumor has it is that ECW is going to be revived onto the WWE Network.
Right.
Let's see. When I first looked into it and everything, all I saw was they were launching the old reborn ECW onto the network. So I kept thinking like maybe they're not reviving the actual show itself. But then when I dig deeper, I found that they're looking to do it possibly next year.
See, and I mean that would be amazing as long as they can do it right. And I know that you have said before that they probably want an all ages show, but I would really like to see a TV mature show for the ages 14 up, like Raw and SmackDown used to be back in almost what do you want to call it, Attitude Era days.
Yeah, the Attitude Era. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I think a lot of people are hoping that when they do this, it is be like a TV 14 kind of thing. And if people heard that paper kind of shuffle through over the recording, that's because what I want to do is I want to actually create the roster. What we're going to do is create the roster, but I'm going to note it down so we have it for future reference in case they do the revive and how accurate we can be. So obviously, I mean, like we did make some lists of people that we would think would go under, but I think the best thing for us to do is we'll just we'll go on to WWE.com, we'll pull up the rosters and everything, and we'll kind of just run through everyone, we'll just yay or nay it on who we think would make a great roster addition for ECW.
I'm totally down.
Cool. Let's get started. We'll start at the very top, and obviously, I think they do this whole thing in alphabetical order. So the first thing we're starting with is Aiden English, which, in my opinion, I think he'd be an ECW addition.
You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Aiden would probably be a great, because he does have that good heel quality to him. Mm-hmm. And the singing just allows someone to interrupt him at any point in time and make for a good banter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like with it right now, there's not a whole lot they're doing with him other than him partnering with Rusev.
Right, being Rusev Day.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I think ECW being recreated, I think this would be perfect for him. I think it'd be a great, a new platform for him to kind of grow off of.
I would like to see, like, if I was him, I think I would try to go to more of that almost steampunk look because of the way he is built. Mm-hmm. He kind of gives off a steampunk vibe to me. Kind of like what's her face, Becky Lynch. Yeah, with the goggles and the attire and everything. I just think that it would fit because I think he has that look for a top hat.
Oh yeah, I think if he went to more of being like a brawler kind of thing,
right.
Because like every time I see him, especially when he came out as the Vaudevillains, I thought of Daniel Day-Lewis from Gangs of New York.
Oh man, I never even thought about that, but yeah, right? That'd be perfect.
When I first saw him come out and everything, this is like before he grew the beard and everything even, all I thought about is, Gangs of New York, Daniel Day-Lewis, that kind of guy. Yeah,
see, that's what I'm talking. That would be perfect.
Oh yeah. AJ Styles, I think we'd leave on Raw.
Oh, he'd SmackDown, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. Fuck it. Just because he's facing Brock Lesnar, I think he needs to go to Raw.
That was kind of a shock there.
Yeah, I don't know why Jinder Mahal lost. I don't know if it's a storyline thing, if it's an injury thing, a wellness test thing.
We haven't heard any rumors on that one.
Yeah. So AJ will keep on SmackDown. Akira will keep on 205 Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as far as I would go, like anyone who's on 205 Live now, I think would change. I think there is one person that I would add to 205 Live, and we'll get to them as we go through the list. I don't see putting women on ECW. I think with the limited amount of women wrestlers they do have, I think they're fine keeping it just to SmackDown and Raw. Yeah,
unless they build a more of a women's roster, but I think eventually you're going to see an all-women's WWE show at some point in time.
Kind of like kind of like a Glamour or a WOW or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like what rises on the independent scene.
Yeah, they actually had their show on Friday. They did. So, can't wait to see one of those one day. Same thing with Alicia Fox, keep her on the main rosters. Apollo Crews would be one I'd also put on ECW.
See, Apollo Crews, to me, I don't know if he would fit on the ECW roster. Unless he's just so smiley to me all the time. You know what I mean? I don't see him getting down and dirty.
So I mean, obviously, as we create this ECW brand and create these ECW rosters, it would get rid of some of the clutter they have on the main roster. Would Apollo Crews remain as a Raw wrestler, or would he kind of be moved over to SmackDown?
I think he would be better over in SmackDown.
Over SmackDown?
But he needs. I like the Titus Worldwide,
mm-hmm.
but I think Titus. I think they need to increase Titus Worldwide. I don't even think Akira Tozawa is in it anymore.
If he is, they don't really market it as that anymore. Navari will keep on 205 Live. Baron Corbin.
Now, see, this man would fit ECW.
I can see Baron Corbin being an ECW guy.
I mean, he's just big, he's quick, and he's just nasty.
Mm-hmm. Bayley, Becky Lynch, again, keep on the main rosters. Big Cass, I can see being ECW.
See, Big Cass, I actually put, I kind of threw together a little roster of my own, and Big Cass is actually one of the ones I had on there. Just to give them, could you imagine, okay, so you got Cass and Corbin going at it together?
I can actually see him being more of like a tag team, like a heel tag team. Unstoppable heel tag team. I think they put on some great single matches against each other, especially like with ECW rules. But if you were to create like a some kind of like dominant tag team, I can see them being that.
It would definitely be.
Yeah. Big E, I would keep the entire New Day on the main roster.
That picture of Big E is the goofiest picture ever.
I know, right? That smile is it's smirky. It's like, yeah.
You know what? I love the Big E character, though.
Oh, yeah, I like Big E. Big Show, even though they're shown on the current roster, I mean, with him retiring, I wouldn't even see him a point to even move him.
No.
Bo Dallas, I would see on ECW. Especially, not Ms. Taraj Bo Dallas, but like that Bo Dallas we found between, like,
after the Bo leave.
Yeah, after the whole social outcast thing, but before the whole Ms. Taraj, when he had that, like, pissed off thing to him.
I kind of like Ms. Taraj Bo Dallas. It gives him a little something more.
Yeah, but he's not as aggressive as what he was coming out to do. So do you see him as being ECW?
I see him as being ECW.
Okay. What about Bobby Roode? I would keep him main roster.
I'm with you with Bobby Roode. He's just... I could see him doing a stint in ECW, just like what Lawler did back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how he was anti-Extreme Rules. And then went down there, got his ass whooped, and came back. Braun
Strowman stays on Raw.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt, I would actually put in ECW.
See, I brought Bray Wyatt back to ECW, too, but I also brought back... I just brought back the original Wyatt family.
The three without
Braun.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt would be, like, if he was to go to ECW, he would be, like, the top guy down there. Like, he would be the top guy up or down in ECW.
He'd be the top heel for me.
Yeah. He would actually, he's, like, one of the guys I would put as like a potential contender to be the first new ECW champion.
Yeah.
Brie Bella is not really even a wrestler anymore, but again, women's wrestlers are not focusing on. Brock Lesnar gets paid too much to be ECW. Byron Saxton's an announcer. Carmella's, again, women wrestler. Kathy Kelly is a not commentator. She's a back.
Yeah, she's an interviewer.
Yeah, an interviewer. Cedric, 205 Live. Cesaro, I would keep on Raw.
Yeah.
Chad Gable, I would keep over on SmackDown because they got to keep those tag teams. Charlotte, again, women wrestler. We got Charlie Caruso, is again an interviewer. Chris Jericho, I wouldn't put in ECW unless it was like a special event, kind of like, because that's his roots.
Right.
And,
you know what? I'd like to see Jericho be an announcer for ECW.
I can see that.
That would be...
Yeah, I'm gonna mark that down. We'll do Chris Jericho as ECW announcer.
And Corey Graves is probably my favorite color commentator at the moment, too.
I can see him kind of falling into like an ECW thing, too. Like, kind of being
He's got that look to him.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone, like, was to, like, I don't know what the right word is, epitomize or, like, I mean, like, he oozes fucking, like, what ECW is all about.
Right.
Against authority, kind of punkish look to him. Kurt Hawkins, I'd put on ECW just because there's no reason for him to be on SmackDown or Raw anymore.
And not with his run of losses.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising to me why he would, like... I mean, they brought him back, and you think they'd bring him back for, like, a reason, but...
They brought him back big.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, to come back as a jobber, it makes no sense.
No.
Unless, like, he came back for a master plan and that plan failed. Curtis Axel, I'd also put in ECW.
Yeah, I put him in ECW too.
I don't know. I don't have really much to say about Curtis Axel anymore. You know,
I think I expected so much out of Curtis Axel with his lineage that I may have oversold him a little bit at first. But I think there's something there. I just think he needs to find what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because, I mean, he got over with the crowd a few weeks back. You know, they were chanting for Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, he has an opportunity. It's just, maybe it's just not on the current rosters right now, SmackDown or Raw. But going down ECW, I mean, he'd be there for, like, you know, start out in that mid-card area again, you know, with the television title and stuff like that. Dana Brooks, women's wrestler. Daniel Bryan, not so much wrestling anymore, staying GM of SmackDown. Dash Wilder, one half of the Revival. I'm surprised that the Revival even sticks around anymore because of the injuries that Dash Wilder has.
Well, hasn't it gone back and forth between the two guys?
See, every time I hear an injury with the Revival, it's always Dash Wilder.
He's the one with the broken jaw, right?
Yeah. At least, and it may be back and forth, because I know at least twice now he's been injured since they moved him up.
That's sad because I enjoyed the Revival.
I like them.
Yeah.
They had who did face? They faced the Hardys on Raw that one day.
Yeah.
And that was a great match. Yeah. When we get down to the second, Dash Wilder, I can't remember his partner's name for the life of me at the moment. When we get done, we'll make a decision. Maybe that'll be like a ECW tag team. Dasha Fuentes, again, women's wrestler. So, I don't know who actually that is.
I think she's a
kind of like a reporter thing?
A valet for NXT.
Why should she be on the main roster then? Well, Dasha Fuentes, if you're listening to this, I apologize for not knowing who you are. She's got to be like a color announcer or an interviewer or something.
I mean, you think she would stick out in the mind?
David Otunga, he doesn't really wrestle anymore. Dean Ambrose, I would want to keep on Raw, but he is almost ECW.
Yeah, see, I put him on my ECW list.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I feel like that would, between him, Wyatt, and a couple others that we'll talk about, I'm sure, when we get to them. But I think those would be your top guys in ECW. Ambrose just screams ECW for me.
He is definitely, like, if you thought of ECW, this is what you come up with. But I think he's too important right now to be part of the main roster, especially when you thin it out, to lose him to a strictly WWE Network-only show.
Well,
until they move Raw and SmackDown
right.
to strictly WWE Network. I think he has to stay on the main roster for the time being, because when you look at the top guys right now, it's Dean, Seth, Roman, AJ Styles, you know, little Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe's finally coming back. You know, I think Finn Balor's still trying to make his way back up that way.
I think Finn Balor's getting the short end of the stick on the booking side to me, but
Dolph Ziggler, I just see him getting released or leaving in a while. So, I mean, I really don't place him, like, anywhere. Drew Gulak, I really don't know who that is either.
See, why is it?
Unless these guys, like, are brought up and, like, an injury or something's keeping them from...
Drew Gulak, I believe he's 205 Live.
Oh, maybe he is.
Yeah, I believe he's 205 Live.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Dwayne, you'll never be ECW. The Rock, current WWE superstar.
Elias, I could see him being on ECW.
I would agree with you if the only thing that I think would keep him on the main roster is to keep him as, like, the next, like, ECW or the next US or Intercontinental contender. I mean, I could see him being in ECW, no doubt, you know, with the guitars and the fact. But at the same time, I think when you thin it out, he could potentially be like a US or a Continental mid-carder.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be a heavyweight champion. Not in the current.
Not with his gimmick.
Yeah, not in the current stage he's in.
No. Enzo's fine on 205. I mean, they'd be better off letting him go. I don't even see Epico or the Clones even wrestle anymore.
If they do, it'd have to be on 205 Live. I haven't seen them.
I don't think they're light enough for 205. They gotta be more than 205 pounds.
Think so?
I think they gotta be. Rowan, you put back as a Wyatt family,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I agree with that. I think whether they go back as the Wyatt family or the Bludgeon Brothers or whatever the fuck they are, I think ECW would be great for them. Fandango, I see, just staying on SmackDown.
Yeah, I couldn't break up those two. Those guys are hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Finn Balor, I want to keep on Raw.
So they actually pull him to ECW just to give ECW a little more star power. Plus, I think with the Demon Finn Balor, it fits for ECW. I think he can. I mean,
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what we can do.
Yeah, no, I as a Demon, I think he'd be perfect for ECW, but he has so much going for him now. To take him off of Raw, I think would just destroy him and become like. If they put him in ECW, then I think it would look as like a failure to leave New Japan to come here.
I can see that, yeah.
Gallagher will stay at 205 Live. Goldust, I can see retiring soon. I mean, you could probably throw him on ECW just for the hell of it. Make him like, you can make him the general manager of ECW. Just give him like something, but I can see him retiring soon too. Graham Metalik. Or Metallic.
205 Live.
205 Live. Greg Hamilton, he's an announcer, commentator, some shit. Heath Slater, I'd put in ECW just for him and Rhino being tag team.
Oh, that'd be cool. Because then you get Rhino back to his roots, too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw Rhino in there now just anyways, because we know that he was going to go to ECW when we came to him anyways. James Ellsworth needs to be released. Yeah, he needs to fucking go.
Well, he can't be around too much longer. Carmelo just super kicked his ass the other day.
Fuck yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was so happy when that happened. Jason Jordan will probably stay on the main roster. I think he's too clean cut for ECW. Like, even pretending to be clean cut for ECW, he's too clean cut for ECW.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, I don't know how long they're supposed to keep the Hardy Boys around, but even if they did, I think they keep them as a tag team on Raw.
They're too much of an attraction for ticket sales.
Yeah. Jerry Lawler, nah. Usos, I think, stay on SmackDown.
But that'd be really cool if they were on ECW.
Yeah, I think they'd be like, if you're to have a cross brand like pay-per-view kind of thing, it'd be good to like have them in there. I don't see them being like a main roster team, but definitely like hey, we'll show our dominance somewhere else.
I'm so happy that they have not broken up the Usos.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. Yeah, they work together. I don't see them having solo careers. I think they're like the next Head Shrinkers.
Just always tag team. Mm-hmm. That works for me. They have a way of breaking up tag teams that just...
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jinder Mahal,
he might work at ECW.
I was thinking the same thing. I think that'd be a good spot for him.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we should put like a limit on like how many people we would put into
Yeah, but with the current rosters, there's so many people that if we remove these people from the rosters, they're still going to have good rosters on Raw and SmackDown. Probably even better rosters now.
Yeah. That makes sense. John Cena, he would never be he'd never be ECW. No. JoJo's just an announcer. Kalisto's doing fine 205 Live. Kane, as much as he'd be great for ECW, even though he is a former ECW champion, I don't see him pushing him down to ECW. I see ECW as a platform to grow these guys who haven't had an opportunity.
Right.
Like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, I see being a great ECW tag team.
Yeah, I put them on my team for ECW.
I mean, they have won the tag team championships. Unfortunately, it's just been the once. Kevin Owens will keep on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston, obviously, been a New Day. We already discussed staying main roster. Connor,
The Ascension.
I see the Ascension being ECW.
I see the Ascension being ECW. And that would probably help them grow their characters more, and maybe get back to the beast that they were.
Yeah, see, that's what sucks. Like, man, as soon as they left NXT, they just kind of just fell by the wayside, and that's what sucks. So, Kurt Angle's, he's fine being GM. Lana, again, women wrestlers, we'll keep them up on the main rosters so they get, to start building that not Divas Revolution, but Women's Revolution continuously. Yeah. Lance Dorado, 205 Live. Luke Gallows, we already said, is ECW. Luke Harper, we're putting over there with Rowan.
Yeah. The Bludgeon Brothers.
When are they supposed to debut?
I don't know. Maybe they come out and they'll fuck some shit up at Survivor Series.
I can see that. Maria Kanellis, I think,
she's pregnant.
Is she?
Yeah, that's why she's not been on.
I feel she hasn't been on because Mike Kanellis got injured.
I don't think Mike Kanellis is injured.
Is that a kayfabe injury? Because I'm pretty sure he's injured.
I'm pretty sure he's in rehab.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is the only reason he signed up for WWE is to get the free rehab?
I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he's in rehab.
So it's a kayfabe injury. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere he was injured. So it had to be a kayfabe injury.
It might be.
No shit. That's unfortunate. I'm going to have to look that up. Mark Henry, I can see retiring soon. Maurice, she's pregnant.
Yeah, but she's pregnant.
And she's going to probably stick with wherever The Miz goes. I don't see The Miz going to WWE. Matt Hardy, keeping the Hardy Boys up on Raw. Mauro Canalo, commentator. Michael Cole, commentator. Mickey James, women wrestler. Mike Kanellis.
I could see Kanellis working on ECW.
Yeah,
because you're gonna need almost that. You're gonna need at least one clean cut villainy type, I guess you could say.
I can see him going to ECW, but if he goes, they need to change his name back to Bennett. The Mike Kanellis thing, that's just nothing against taking the woman's last name, but that's just fucked up.
Nothing against it, but that's just fucked
up. As a wrestling gimmick, it's fucked up. Like in real life, if somebody say, "Listen, I want to take my wife's last name," as like a real thing, fine. But as a WWE wrestler, if you're trying to show like that manliness and stuff like that, like you think you'd want to have your last name.
I think it works good with the characters that they had developed with that. I just don't know how over that'll get.
Mm-hmm. Mike Rome, behind the scenes guy. Mojo Rawley, I see in ECW.
I can see Mojo in ECW without Zack Ryder. I think Zack Ryder needs to go. As much as I like Zack Ryder, I just think he might benefit going to a Ring of Honor or a New Japan to further develop some of his skills he already has.
Yeah. No, that makes sense too, yeah. He's almost kind of like a Dolph Ziggler thing. It's like he has talent, but it's just not able to be utilized.
He was super over at one point in time, and
then Eve Torres left, and John Cena didn't want to do the storyline anymore.
Right.
Mustafa Ali will stay in 205 Live. Naomi and Natalya will stay on SmackDown. Neville is 205 Live or leaving. I think he'd be great for ECW.
He would be great for ECW.
Nia Jax and Nikki Bella, they'll stay up on the main rosters. Noam Dar, 205 Live. Paige, whenever she makes her return, if there was an ECW woman wrestler, it would be her.
It would definitely be her.
Paul Heyman would be the GM.
See, I got him as the commissioner.
Yeah?
Yeah. You want to know who I got as a GM?
Yeah, tell me that.
Tommy Dreamer.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer?
Yeah. He runs a pretty successful wrestling show on his own.
Yeah. I can see that.
And that would also give you not only two of the original ECW guys, but also one that has been in the ring, kind of like the Kurt Angle is for Raw.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. I like that. That's good booking. Primo, again, kind of with the other guy. I'm not sure where they're at, but to keep main roster tag teams. R-Truth, I think, would be an ECW.
Yeah, he'd be an ECW.
Yeah.
I don't see him being around too much longer, though.
Yeah, we'll say retirement. Again, ECW for the longevity guys. Randy Orton will stay on main roster.
I think Orton would be good on ECW. I think he's pretty... He's got a new tattoo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be great for ECW, but he would. I don't think he'd ever do it.
Yeah, but he's already done everything else on the other main rosters.
Yeah, but he would stay main roster or nothing. I mean, definitely Randy Orton would do that.
Right.
Renee Young.
I wouldn't mind seeing her commentate.
Yeah, I think that'd be her opening right there. Yeah, there we go, commentating.
I know the only other woman that I can think of that ever commentated was Lita for the Mae Young Classic.
Mm-hmm.
That she commentated for. And I didn't watch a whole lot of that, so that'd be mostly, I don't know how she was, or...
I mean, she did fine. I mean, she did better than us.
Well.
Rhino goes to ECW. Rich Swann will stay on 205 Live. Roman will stay on the main roster. Rusev, I think, would benefit from ECW.
I think so, because he could be a monster there. He could be he could be what he should be on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn, I think, would also benefit from
ECW.
ECW.
I put Zayn on my roster. But I want Zayn now.
Oh yeah,
I'm enjoying heel Zayn,
mm-hmm.
which is not too far off from face Zayn. It just now he's got an attitude.
Yeah. Samir Singh, I think if he ever does wrestle, it should be in 205 Live.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe will stay on the main roster.
Yep.
Sasha will stay on the main roster.
There's the other guy.
Yep, Scott Dawson. So you think Revival will be good in ECW?
I think they'd be good.
Because right now we got the Wyatt family, Heath Slater and Rhino, Gallows and Anderson, and Ascension. So right now we got 4 tag teams down in ECW. Do you think the Revival would benefit sticking up in the main roster, maybe SmackDown?
I think I might move them to SmackDown.
Next SmackDown? Yeah. Scott Stanford behind the scenes. Seth Rollins obviously stays main roster. Shane McMahon's the commissioner. Sheamus will stay main roster. Sean Benjamin will stay main roster. Shinsuke Nakamura would be great in ECW, but he's got to be a main roster guy.
He's a main roster guy. I know you're not the biggest fan of him, but
he doesn't take good pictures.
He doesn't need to take good pictures.
He looks like he had a stroke.
He's a weirdo.
Sin Cara, 205 Live. If anything, he'd be moved to 205 Live. Stephanie McMahon, obviously, when she's not a wrestler, she's a commissioner of Raw, and amongst all the other titles that she has, I can't remember I know she's
the CEO, isn't she?
No, she is in charge of merchandising and something else. I can't think of the word, but I know she deals a lot with. She kind of I can't think of the fucking word now, but I know she deals a lot with being an ambassador, but not so much ambassador. It's talent, not
talent relations.
No, it's not talent relations either. It's
I know she has something to do with the women's division. I'm pretty sure she had something with that.
I know she helps with that, but I can't.
She does all their charities too.
Yeah, I can't think of the fucking word, and that's gonna fucking bug me. Yeah, it's part of the charity stuff. PR.
Oh, okay.
Public relations.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she's in charge of public relations and merchandising and stuff like that. Sunel, I can't remember, I can't pronounce it, but Singh, the other Singh brother, 205 Live. Tamino staying women wrestling on the main roster.
But again, if ECW had a women's division, Tamina would be there.
Paige versus Tamina.
Oh
man, fuck yeah. Kendrick, 205 Live. The Miz will stay on the main roster. Titus O'Neil will stay on the main roster. I think he would actually benefit from not wrestling anymore, but creating a Titus brand between 205 Live, Raw, SmackDown, ECW.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Perkins. Do you know that Perkins used to be Suicide?
Yep.
It's so crazy to think.
Yeah. And Manic.
Oh my God, Manic. Yeah, 205 Live. Tom Phillips stays a commentator. Tony Chimmel, announcer. Tony Nese is 205 Live. Ty Dillinger, I think, would benefit from ECW.
See, and there's another one that I feel like they've missed something with.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with him because the crowd loves him. Mm-hmm. Anytime you get the crowd to chant anything for you, you're winning.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he stays under the current roster and stays in that mid-card range with the U.S. titles and Intercontinental title reigns. Yeah, we'll keep him on the main roster right now. Tyler Breeze stays on SmackDown with Fandango. The Undertaker obviously is kind of just doing his, one show every, 6 months, whatever. Victor's going down to the Ascension already. Xavier Woods stays on the roster for New Day. And Zack Ryder gets released.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, between just the superstars themselves for WWE, I mean, we got Aiden English, Baron Corbin, Big Cass, Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, Kurt Hawkins, Curtis Axel, Elias Sampson, Rollins and Harper, Heath and Rhino, Jinder Mahal, Gallows and Anderson, Ascension, Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, Rusev, Sami Zayn. Let's do NXT and then maybe we could pick some surprising guys who we think would be able to come back.
Want to do that? Surprises.
Oh yeah, do some surprising shit. So if we go up here and all these listeners, I think you can find all the superstars on WWE.com. Just so everyone knows out there. Cheap plug. So if we look at ECW, Adam Cole is main roster, I think. Eventually when he does get moved up. Roster. Authors of Pain would be great for ECW, but I think they'd also be great for the main roster too.
I put the Authors of Pain on my ECW, but I think they would probably benefit more from main roster.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how many tag teams are needed in ECW. Because right now we got 4? I
think we got 5.
5. Yeah. So Authors of Pain, I think would be good in ECW, but if they get a run at least on the main roster, see how they work out. Aleister Black is ECW.
See, I got him as the TV champ.
Oh, like the first, the inaugural guy?
Inaugural TV champ right there.
Okay. We'll put that up here. We'll go TV champ, because we'll discuss the champs here. World champ and tag team. Alexander Wolf.
Part of Sanity, right?
I think Sanity overall would be great for ECW, but again, I think they'd be a good main roster.
I totally threw Sanity on as their next step from NXT.
As a main roster or as ECW?
As ECW.
See, I would too, but I think they'd be a great replacement for the Wyatt family. To have that group still.
We can agree to disagree.
We'll come back to that. Yeah, let's see how many people we end up with the ECW roster, because it looks like the ECW roster may have more wrestlers on than Raw or SmackDown will. Andred Almas, I think, stays in NXT. Angelo Dawkins, I think, stays in NXT for the time being. Bobby Fish stays down. Buddy Murphy, I honestly forgot that he even wrestled.
I'm not 100% familiar with all these faces.
Yeah.
So
I think Murphy is dating Alexa Bliss, or she's dating the other one, because he's a tag team with somebody else.
Oh. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. Drew McIntyre will be main roster when he comes back. Ember Moon, I love her. She is phenomenal. She's an incredible talent. Eric Young will get to Sandy in a minute. Hideo Itami needs to be released. It's just not working out for him, unfortunately. Johnny Gargano stays in NXT. Cassius Ohno, I'm not too familiar with. He stays in NXT. Killian Dane will get back to Sandy in a minute. Kyle O'Reilly, whenever he does come up, I think he'd stay with Adam Cole. Lars Sullivan, I have no idea who that is.
ECW.
Yep. Just by looking at him.
This dude is ruthless. I actually, the few times I've watched NXT within the past couple months, this guy is just brutal.
Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose. I don't know who they are, but they are cute. Commentators, Montez Ford, don't really know too much about him. Nick Miller, don't know too much about him. Nigel McGuinness. He's a commentator, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Nikki Cross. I think this is a girl who I thought was rumored supposed to be Sister Abigail. No Way Jose I don't see much of, but I think he's still in NXT for a bit. Oni Lorcan, not really sure, but keep him down in NXT for a bit. Otis Dozovic.
He's just a big, mean dude.
Yeah. He'd have to be on main roster. Just by look, like just for now, main roster. But probably fall into ECW if it doesn't take.
Right.
Percy Watson, not too sure of. Pete Dunne would be great for ECW.
Pete Dunne would totally be great for ECW. I believe he's fighting for... He might have made the jump to 205 Live.
Oh, yeah, he would be great for 205 Live.
But I would rather see him on ECW.
Yeah.
He is like... what the fuck's his name? The English guy.
Aiden English?
No. He's, I believe, the commissioner or the GM of NXT.
Oh, William Regal?
Yeah. That's who he reminds me of.
Mm-hmm. Authors of Pain, we said main roster. Riddick Moss, not too much about him. Roderick Strong, not too much about him. Ruby Riot's fucking awesome. I like her. Shane Thorne, not too much about him. Tino Sabatelli, not too much about him.
I don't know too much.
Tommaso Ciampa, I mean, he was part of DIY. He'd be pretty good in ECW. Or 205 Live. Tyler Bates would be good for 205 Live. Tucker Knight, I don't know if you've ever seen Tucker Knight wrestle, but it's pretty interesting. I mean, he's a big dude, but he moves. But he stays in NXT for now. Wesley, there we go, Blake and Murphy. So, Alexa Bliss is either dating Blake or dating Murphy. I'm not sure which one. I think it's Murphy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, Murphy.
Velvet Team Dream, no idea who it is. William Regal and Zelina Vega, Vic Joseph. So our current roster now is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. We have 24 superstars on the ECW roster.
That sounds pretty good.
That's not bad. I was actually aiming for like 25.
Do we get a 2-hour show or is it a 1-hour show?
It's probably going to be, if it's NXT or if it falls on just the WWE Network straight up, that's probably just going to be an hour like NXT is. But even then, even if you get like four matches, 5 matches in a night, you're looking at what, like almost, if one of them's a tag team, you're looking at 8, at least 12 of them are on one show. So, I mean, it's not too bad. So looking up all these, if you look at Aiden English, Baron Corbin, Big Cass, Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, Kurt Hawkins, Curtis Axel, Elias, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Heath Slater and Rhino, Jinder Mahal, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Ascension, Mike Kanellis, Mojo Rawley, Rusev, Sami Zayn, Aleister Black, Lars Sullivan, and Pete Dunne. First off, who's going to be the tag team champs?
Well, see, we didn't put Sanity there, so I had Sanity.
Yeah, I'm going to keep Sanity on the main roster for now. I mean, it's like I said, like I think especially with Eric Young, I think for the time being, would make like a SmackDown or Raw for now if it doesn't work out to move to ECW.
I would go Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, see, I was going to go with Gallows and Anderson.
I think that'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. We'll leave it up to our fans. So we'll do that. So we'll pick who we think would be, and then we'll put them in matches and let the fans vote on it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, cool. All right, so for the fans, Tag Team Championship, Bludgeon Brothers versus
Anderson and Gallows.
Do you think they'll call themselves the Club down there?
I mean, we can call them whatever we want.
We'll call them Club. Sure, right? So Bludgeon Brothers, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper taking on the Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson for tag titles. Television title.
See, I got Aleister Black.
Aleister?
Yeah. But I guess if we're doing matches...
Let's see. Do you want to go with Aleister, or do you want to change your... Because you're picking one and I'm picking one.
I'm sticking with Aleister.
You got to stick with Aleister? I am going to go with... If I had to pick... I would want to say either Elias or Mojo Rawley.
Really?
Yeah. As like an inaugural one, I think... I'm going to go with Elias. I think he has some momentum to him. Hey, now you're looking at world champ.
I'll let you pick first this time.
You want to let me pick first?
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm going to have to go, man. I'm going to go Rusev.
Rusev?
Oh, no, never mind. Dunn.
Pete Dunne?
Pete Dunne. Yeah. Have you not seen Dunne wrestle?
Yeah, I saw him wrestle on Raw.
He's awesome.
Yeah, but he's not ECW champion awesome yet. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, that's your choice, man. Follow your star. So, cool. Awesome. So the fans out there who are listening to us and everything as we create our ECW roster.
I was going to say, should we...
Oh, yeah, we got our surprises.
Yeah, we still have our surprises, and we may want to change.
That's true. I forgot all about the surprises. Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, I want Glacier to come back into ECW.
See, I enjoyed Glacier because I was a huge Mortal Kombat fan back in the day. So I don't remember how he was in the ring. But I was thinking James Storm.
I hope James Storm does make the jump to WWE. I think that'd be great not only for WWE but for himself as well, because he's a great talent and he has that veteran work with him. Plus, I think it'd be great if they were to put Rude and Storm back together as a tag team. Not for here on out.
I think it'd be a one-off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be one of those kind of like a Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose kind of tag team, or Sheamus and Cesaro kind of tag team.
Yeah, but see, I wouldn't want to pull Rude out of any title picture whatsoever.
Does he have a title picture?
Hey, he's gonna be. It's just a matter of time.
Isn't me or does Alex Riley look kind of weird there?
You know what? I don't remember Alex Riley having long hair.
No, definitely not dark hair. I do miss Austin Aries.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's kind of on the we're on the alumni page now. If those of you who are not sure what we're talking about.
Now, if we could do these guys in their prime, I'm looking at one right now that would just be probably the top guy in ECW, and that's Bam Bam Bigelow.
In a perfect world, if we could pull them out of their prime and bring them back to life, yeah. But if we look at these, oh yeah, Bam Bigelow died.
Really?
Yeah. 10 years ago.
Man.
Maybe 3 years ago.
He was always one of my favorite big guys.
I like Bam Bam Bigelow. I always thought Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader puts on some decent big guy matches. But if you look at these guys now, Bam Bam Bigelow died. Big Daddy V died. Hugh Morris will never work for WWE ever again. Fucking psycho.
I enjoyed Hugh Morris when he was in the ring, though.
I did. I loved Hugh Morris, the wrestler, but what he did to the kids in NXT is fucked up.
Yeah, what he did to them was all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah. So these guys, Billy Kidman, I can see come back as an ECW special thing if he could stop using drugs.
What are you talking? He's working behind the scenes.
Billy Gunn?
Billy Kidman. You said Kidman.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Billy Gunn. No, but yeah, Billy Kidman works for WWE.
I was going to say, Billy Kidman works for WWE.
Yeah, no, you're right. Billy Gunn. Boogeyman would come back great as an ECW thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Brian Pillman passed away. Brian Maddox was too naked and shit in those videos for him to have a job there ever again. British Bulldog passed away. Bros Clay will probably never come back. Bruiser Brody passed away. I never knew that Brutus Barber Beefcake was disciple in WCW until I looked it up.
I don't even remember Disciple.
He was in the NWO. He was that biker looking guy. No, I couldn't. I did not realize he was the same guy. Bubba Ray finally retired.
I could see Bubba Ray being an announcer for ECW.
Like a ring announcer?
Yeah, like a commentator.
Oh, commentator. Yeah, we already got 3 commentators.
Who we got?
Chris Jericho, Corey Graves, and Renee Young.
Oh, that's good.
See, but I think Bubba Ray would be a great GM if Tommy Dreamer couldn't do it.
Ooh, that'd be
right.
Cool. Bull Nakano, holy cow!
God, Camacho, really?
Camacho's still around.
Let's see here. Who else is there? Chris Masters. He'd be great to bring back.
He's in Impact right now.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. CM Punk would be
Chris
great.
Adonis.
Chris, oh my God, no way. Chris Holly died. Crush died.
Devon's behind the scenes now.
Yep. Damon Sandow will probably never come back. Darren Young doesn't need to come back. David R. Smith, I think, should have an opportunity in NXT.
I think he's kicking ass somewhere else right now.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's in New Japan.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean Malenko's behind the scenes. Demolition won't be back. Doink died.
Which one?
The original one. I know. Duke Droz. God. El Torito.
Bring El Torito back.
Bring El Torito back. Goldberg.
Oh man, Finley. He used to put on some hellacious matches.
Oh yeah. God, I mean, there's so many. Jack Swagger would be great to bring back. I think ECW would help him out.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett landed himself in rehab recently.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I guess just over time it kind of just gets you. John Morrison, I keep hearing rumors about him coming back.
It's funny that they still have these guys on their alumni page, I think. Because they had Alberto Del Rio on there. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
And he left and talked all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at something like Kevin Sullivan, you know, I mean, like, Lex Luger, like, here's guys who, like, didn't leave the company in the best way. And Mikey. Holy shit, look at that Spirit Squad. God, they even have the Godfather in here as Papa Shango. Shango? The missing link.
I don't remember the missing link. Perry Saturn, I remember. He tried making a comeback not too long ago.
Yeah, well, he got shot in the head.
Really?
Yeah. Some girl was getting mugged. He went to go intervene. He was homeless at the time, and he got shot in the head.
Psychosis. I remember Psychosis.
Yeah.
Rajin Singh? Isn't it any relation to the other Singhs?
I don't know, but he'd be great to come back as a manager for him.
Raven looks like shit nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Rick Steiner.
I haven't heard nothing about Rick. You always hear about
Scott. Yeah. See, even Ryback's on here, and he left on bad terms.
Rob Van Dam. I could see Rob Van Dam coming on for a one-off match.
Mm-hmm. Skinner. God. I don't know why, but he was always like one of my favorite, like crazy gimmick guys.
I always enjoyed Shane Douglas too.
Mm-hmm. Stevie Richards would come back for a one-off. Tatanka, God, yeah. God, we never really looked through this before, have we?
No.
The bunny.
What the hell?
Anyways, all right. So Glacier and James Storm.
Glacier and James Storm.
James Storm, I think, would be a great contender for a world championship.
Let's do a triple threat.
We'll do a triple threat. Oh, yeah, how about that?
We like triple threats.
Everyone loves triple threats. I was so bummed because I thought Survivor Series was tonight. I was like, God, I gotta wait another week. But, all right, yeah, so the fans out there listening and stuff, we're going to take it to a vote to you guys, who do you think is going to win the tag team champions in ECW, the Bludgeon Brothers or the Club? Who's going to win the television title, Aleister Black or Elias Sampson? And World Championship, we got Pete Dunne, Bray Wyatt, or James Storm. So we'll put that up on social media so you guys see it. Maybe do a little poll thing, and you guys tell us who you think, and then we'll give it about a week or so, maybe a week or two, and we'll get the results on that.
I'll try to put some up on Facebook.
Okay, perfect. Smells like Pepsi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love me some Pepsi. You got your coffee. I got my Pepsi.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up this show, which, it was awesome creating this ECW bracket and hoping so that this does happen. I think bringing the ECW brand back would definitely help out WWE as they, as they kind of fall into a decline here. But as we mentioned last week, we're going to do like a new segment here on Just Freaking Wrestling. And
segment.
Yeah, Dizzle J has his own segment here, so we still don't have a title for it, but basically what we're starting this week and going forward is Dizzle J is going to be recommending a match for you to go and watch. So, Dizzle J, why don't you kind of take the floor here? And
So, when we decided that we were going to do this, I was like, well, man, there's so many matches that stand out in my head already. I wanted to go back, and I picked two of my favorite wrestlers, which happened to be Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels. And I just started looking up matches, and then one that really caught my eye was Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 19, the grandest stage of them all. And I went back, watched this match, and it's just total nonstop. They go back and forth. This was back when both of those guys were, Jericho was definitely in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Michaels was probably fresh back from injury around that time, but still prime. So, it just blew me away to watch these guys, and, to watch the lion salt from halfway across, and Shawn Michaels doing, I forget what it's called, runs up the corner and does this little back flip on him. It was amazing. I totally recommend the match. I almost went with a CM Punk versus John Cena match, but I think I'll save that for later on.
Well, see, now that's why we're going to do it weekly here, you know? So we could do something like, you could post it up on Facebook, kind of like a mention thing, so you can check it out.
I'll find the YouTube video and I'll post it up, and Dizzle's pick of the week or something. Yeah.
Well, it's your segment, so you get to pick the name of it.
I don't know what to name it.
We got time. We got time to figure it out.
We got time.
But yeah, keep in mind, for WrestleMania 19, it was probably one of the greatest match cards that there was for WrestleMania. This was the Lesnar Angle match where Lesnar did that, that, not the moonsault.
The
shooting star press.
The shooting star press.
Yeah, Kurt Angle broke his neck in that match. Yep. And then you got The Rock, who took on Stone Cold. Hulk Hogan took on Mr. McMahon. Triple H took on Booker T. You got Shawn Michaels taking on Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I don't even think it wasn't even for a title or anything. It was just a match.
But when you look at it, that match, when you look at the times, it was the longest match on the card.
22 minutes of pure enjoyment.
And that was that was longer than, the 4 matches that follow, which were all main event matches. You have Team Angle, took on Chris Benoit and Rhino. And also took on Los Guerreros, Chavo and Eddie. Trish Stratus, is taking on Jazz. Or I'm sorry, she took on Victoria and Jazz in a triple threat match. Undertaker took on the Big Show and the A-Train, so this was the year that he was supposed to team with Nathan Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And he ended up going to the handicap match and everything. Matt Hardy took on Rey Mysterio.
With Shannon Moore.
And then Chief Morley, or Val Venus. Yeah, he teamed with Lance Storm. They're the tag team champions at the time with the Dudley Boys, which is weird. Took on Kane and Rob Van Dam. So, that match card was incredible.
I might have to go back and watch this whole show.
Yeah, and the thing that amazes me the most is, of all these matches, the Shawn Michaels Chris Jericho match was the longest match on the whole card.
Like I said, I took my 2 favorites, which happened to be those 2, and I just looked up anything that they were in. And there were plenty. They had an Intercontinental match on Raw one night that was just phenomenal. But I had to choose the WrestleMania match, because that's usually when they lay it all out on the line.
Yeah, and it's a great inaugural match, you know, so it's perfect. So next Friday we got SCW in Shabance.
At the Shabance Civic Center.
Yep. Which I gotta actually figure out when this show's gonna be released, because I just released last week's show yesterday.
I mean, like I said, we're not on.
Yeah, we can record it whenever. Release it whenever.
We want.
So Friday, November 16th, 17th, SCW at the Shabance Civic Center.
I believe doors open at 6 or 6:30.
Yeah. Yeah. $12 at the door. If you pre-buy them, you can buy them over $10.
Yep. Genesis, Fit Body U, and Bradley.
Yep.
They usually have raffles. I know they always have some kind of charity going on there. Food and refreshments will be there.
Yep.
I mean, it's one of our favorite shows to go to. And it's sad that we can't always go because, you know, Friday nights are not good for both of us.
No. Saturdays are definitely better. And, I mean, with next Saturday, we were supposed to be going down to Powerhouse, but unfortunately that show's not happening currently. So
well, hopefully Powerhouse gets back on their feet. We don't like to see any organization go down.
No. That's where, like, you know, you guys come in as wrestling fans, like, you know, I recommend checking out these indie shows. You know, like
30. Depending on how many is in your family, you're gonna have a fun night, especially if you're wrestling fans.
Yeah, and I think as far as I know, Powerhouse, you know, they let I think kids get them free. I'm not sure what SCW does. I can't remember that because we don't really deal too much with the kids side because, you know, you have to bring your kids there, so we never really had to deal with that. But I mean, a lot of these independent shows, like even Fire Pro out in Indiana, I think the kids got in.
Kids are free.
Yeah, so I mean these venues and shows and everything. I mean they're designed for families, you know, for outings. You know, if you're a wrestling fan, you know, if you like sitting there watching WWE on TV, go see the real thing in these independent shows. You know, it's $10 to $15 depending on which show you go to. You know, kids, I think most of the time are either discounted or get in for free.
I believe veterans at some of these shows get in for free.
Yep. Plus, got fucking nachos.
Nachos,
fucking
pizza
nachos.
puffs.
Hell yeah, burgers. Some have alcohol, but I mean, like these wrestling shows are great to check out. And I mean, like, I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think it was true.
I mean, and another thing is if you want to go to something like this and you don't want there to be a bunch of people just drinking all night long, SCW is the perfect family-friendly show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Out of the ones we've been to so far, it's been the most family-friendly.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, you know, I don't. Maybe the harshest cuss word I heard was ass.
Yeah.
And that's a maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the next one to that, I think, would be Fire Pro, but that's because that was more church-based.
Right. But even Fire Pro was fun.
Oh, I love Fire Pro. I definitely want to get back and see it. I just want to see the Roach.
The Roach was cool.
But, you know, yeah, I mean, guys, be supportive to these independent shows. You know, check out Southland Championship Wrestling on Facebook. Go check out Powerhouse Wrestling there. And, you know, just send them a message on their page, you know, saying, like, hey, you know, we want you back. We want to see you and everything. You know, like, maybe JFW could look into getting a show out here in, like, Mantino or Peatone or something to see if we can find out what kind of draw we could get out here. Maybe we can convince Powerhouse to come this way.
That'd be cool. I mean, we're already in with the Super Beer Brothers,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
I think it's hit or miss with them with us.
Well, they don't like you, but
I mean, a lot of people don't like me.
I mean, you did call them losers, so.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Okay. You got anything else?
I think it's time to ring bell in this episode.
Perfect. As always, I am Travesty.
I'm Dizzle J.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Just Freaking Wrestling, the JFW Podcast.
Peace.